Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Energy Inside Motion. I'm here today with my guest, Ryan Ridley. So Ryan, would you like to give a little brief introduction to the viewers?
Yeah, my name's Ryan. At the minute, my main project is leading a music brand called Neighbourhood Birmingham. We run music events, predominantly open jam nights, and we've just launched a sub-brand called Neighbourhood Club, which is all about fun third space events.
Okay. So how did you sort of get into the creative industry?
So I dropped out of sixth form and started going to music college, a bit of a whim. But then I got introduced to I started doing drums, and then that quickly started into doing music videos for people, bit of content, moved into artist management, and then ran events. So kind of did the tour of all of the industry side of the roles, and then landed in predominantly events. Yeah.
Okay. So what sort of like music inspired you growing up?
It was all from my friends, like growing up. So I was in a couple of bands, like proper in year 4 and stuff.
Okay.
And I would just listen to what they listened to, a lot of rock music, indie music. And then as I got older, chilled out with more people, it's turned into a lot of like modern rap, UK jazz rap. I'm a really big fan of like the UK modern jazz scene and how it influences with different genres. Okay. That's my bag.
So it makes sense because obviously it transitions.
100%.
Yeah. So whereabouts did you grow up?
I grew up in Coventry. Not proud to say that, but I grew up in Coventry.
How would you say your environment influenced your upbringing with the journey?
I think the biggest things have been moving out of home and then coming into a new city where there's new people, new scenes involved, especially Birmingham. It's a really diverse place. So coming and actually getting to experience what other people are interested in, different cultures, was a huge thing for me. And then I think that's led its way into leading Neighbourhood as well, which is quite a diverse event. So naturally we have so many different people involved with that. It's just been such a cool learning experience for me.
Okay. What was something that you noticed in the scene that you thought was missing?
Promoters, like proper, especially live music. There's a huge gap in Birmingham for people putting on live music shows. Other cities, you'll have for an artist, especially like an artist development standpoint, you have a clear route from releasing, and then you'll go do tours or gigs in different venues around your city. But here we kind of struggle with that. But then in the same breath, I feel like a lot of artists don't really fit a lot of the venues we have here. So I'm keen to see people take a spin on that and say, where can I put this artist in like a more unique setting, which would be cool.
Okay. So in terms of artist management, how did you get into doing artist management?
When I started my uni course, because I joined a year late, my only friend there had already started a band and they had a drummer. So I just was kind of following them around, but then naturally started thinking about, okay, how are we putting a gig on? How are we organising this group of people? Got quite good at that, found out enjoyed that. So then I managed a few different artists, a few different bands. Yeah, it was good.
What was your experience like managing different artists?
I think it's great. Like, I really enjoy it. It's hard to manage a lot of people especially like at this time in life when you move out of a uni setting and you have 4 different people's schedules to try and organise. That was the biggest hard thing. So, but yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it leads into like being able to see people's creativity and then put that into how that's implemented into like the real world. Okay. What does that look like releasing music or as a product or as an event? That's just how my brain's wired. Yeah.
So as an artist manager, what were some of the things that you would try and coach the artist with when managing them?
Implementing a bit of like routine, and then also thinking about, it's finding a balance between allowing them to be creative, and then allowing them to think how they're being perceived by people. So it's like, what does your music sound like? And then how can we pair that with what you look like? How can we then change that to how you're performing on a stage? So your name and your reputation's kind of becoming its own thing and its own brand. Okay. I managed a band called Santu, which were like a rock band, but they really smashed that with like how they looked, how they acted, like it was such a good complete package, and that's what people would talk about them all the time. Yeah.
How did Neighbourhood begin?
Neighbourhood has been running since 2017, and it's just started as a jam night. So the guys that ran Neighbourhood started it with a bit of a gap of there's no spaces for musicians to come and play together. So it was just initially people, friends coming together, playing music. And then I feel because of that filled a gap, it got really popular quite quickly. And when I got involved, it had been running for 7-8 years, and there was an opportunity to hand it over to a new set of people. So I was invited down to do that.
Okay.
And it's been a cool journey since. We've got a bit of a team around it. The events are growing, new concepts and new ideas are being brought through. Yeah, man.
So how did you put together the team?
They just kind of found everyone. All of the team we currently have at Neighbourhood are people that have just come to Neighbourhood. So I was an audience member as well, and just I think people show curiosity. So I was starting to ask, how's it funded, or how's your content work? And that got me into a leadership role there, and people have done the same. They're just curious. And then we kind of like, well, if people say we have a videographer and they're looking for experience, we're able to put them in a position where they can come and gain it. And that's across the board of all the roles we've got. So it's something we continue to do.
That's sick, man, because like you're sort of seeing, you're attracting like some of the best talents in different areas, and then you can just sort of like add them on to what you're already doing.
Yeah, 100%. Like just how we are able to platform our musicians and artists, there's a whole other side of it for people that want to get into sound tech or production or bookings. There's still space for people to come learn and practice. Yeah.
So obviously you said you were an audience member first. So being in the audience, what was something you learnt from being in the audience that then I guess carried on to being now that you've implemented now?
I just think as an audience member, you felt very at home there quite quickly, especially if you go to 2 or 3 events, you see the same people, everyone's very friendly. So that's like the community really stuck out, and it's something that we think about when we move forward with events. But to be honest, we don't have to because it's there already. But yeah, everyone that comes and comments, if they're new to the event or the brand, it's the community that they're commenting on first. It's like, oh, these are friendly people, these are real people. And a lot of connections get made, which we continue to want to push through.
What do you think the importance of having Neighbourhood is in the city?
I think for Neighbourhood, it's a representation of like the wider creative scene, and take the music element out of it. It's just a space where creatives can come and meet and hang out. We run it on the first Monday of every month. So I think that's good to have a solid thing in the calendar where people can kind of fall back on. But yeah, the main thing for it is just having people, like-minded people, come and share experience in the same space.
How do you so I know obviously you have different content creators who work,
yeah.
Like, how do you sort of want your brand to be portrayed through the content creation?
I think the content we want to start pushing forwards is as if you were a fly in the room. So capturing like the very unique elements of it. So whether that's little clips of the performances, but then we're also looking at highlighting a lot of the people that are in the audience as well. So it's not just who's on stage, it's actually pinpointing people in the audience that have a big impact on the event, but no one would know that if they didn't know the event, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in terms of the different artists that you have on there, what do you look for in an artist who you want to maybe bring into Neighbourhood to perform?
That they're working, I guess. So like we want to be able to put them on our platform when it's the right time for them. So if they've got releases, that's great. We'd love to put shows on for artists that have stuff going on, which we can then give that extra push for. But I guess this year's bookings have all just been a bit of weirder ideas. We're trying to do a lot more collaborations with people. So whether that's different collectives or different sets of people in the city, a lot of like the grime artists would come in and put in a spin on where we'll put a live band on. So it's just something a bit more unique and different. And as we approach next year's events, it's just more ideas like that, which like what's something you can't really see anywhere else. And then we'll go produce that.
So what kind of sparked the idea to incorporate having like a live band mixed with the artists performing?
I just think it's cool, like cool to do. So the structure at Neighbourhood is we put together a house band. So we'll have a musical director. He or she will put together the house band, and then for our open jam element, that's an opportunity for artists that may not have had the privilege to perform with a band yet to come and experience that and test that out. So that's the main thing for the jam is we have a good band, we have people that can have that there, and then people can come and practice and try with that. And then off the back of that, they go and meet their own bands from the group, which is cool.
What advice do you have for artists who are trying to improve their craft and improve their live performances?
Just keep at it. So there's more spaces like Neighbourhood where you can go and try, and it's not really, you're not producing your own show, so it kind of removes the risk or the fear of it. So yeah, just keep on getting involved with as much stuff like that. Talk to people, be confident, tell people who you are. It's always refreshing for someone to come and tell you who they are, what they've got going on, and then people can start following you, and they will start following you as well. Yeah.
No, it's really cool to see. As someone who I've been in the audience a lot of Neighbourhoods, it's really cool how it's like one of the main events, and it's like you really see how much people come together for it.
Sure, man.
And just the crowd participation, like it does feel very electric when you're in there.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. So at Neighbourhood, what is one of your favourite collaborations that you've done?
One of my favourite collaborations we've done, as a couple, we did Diddy Swag Big Christmas Band was cool. So they're just a crazy group of people, and at Christmas shows we always try and bring the energy up. So the first time they did it was sick. They had like I think 16 people on stage, full brass bands. Another favourite of mine has been the live cypher events we've done. So last year we partnered with a female grime collective called ETFM.
Okay.
And the concept of that was bringing in three MCs each side, and they would battle it out. But I wanted to have the DJ and the live element separated, and they were kind of battling it out as well. So Neighbourhood being the live element and the grime artist bringing in a DJ element. So again, just merging genres and ideas together. Everyone liked that. The energy was sick in that room.
So in terms of the different, 'cause obviously you do different types of nights. What are some of the new things that you're looking to do with Neighbourhood?
Yeah. So usually we're on the first Monday of the month. As of next year, we're introducing the third Friday at the Night Owl. So we'll be there every 2 weeks, which is cool. And that second Friday slot is going to be more booked for like bigger bands or artists that have their own bands and their own organised sets. And that just gives those artists that have been practicing and crafting like a bit of a project that space to come and present that to our audience. Okay. So that's something we're excited for. But yeah, we're also then doing our like third space events, which started off as networking, but they are just stripping back the pressure of a networking event. And that's all just about having fun. So we're excited to see that grow as well.
What do you think the importance is of networking in the industry?
It is very important. I feel like, especially as a music student going through uni, all you're hearing is like network. But I think people assume that means you have to go to all these panels and meet the top of the industry. But really, networking for me has always been like, just go and make friends with people. And I think Neighbourhood really shows that as well. It's like, just go and make friends, because then you'll go out and at the core, you're going to enjoy what you're doing. And then you'll find those friends and that group of people are the people that support you. So go make 20 good connections, and that's your network. And then you've got events to attend, you've got people to attend your events, you've got people to work with, and that's the foundation for everything going forward. And then even just like that teaches you how to go and speak to people, how to present yourself. That's probably the core of what networking is, I guess.
So as having so many different roles throughout the years, what's one of the biggest things that you've learned as you've gone forward in the industry?
Just trying to communicate, like, especially as someone that now manages teams, just being aware of like the efforts everyone puts in, especially because we've been in positions where a lot of the work's voluntary. Just having an understanding of like what everyone does and contributes to a project we're all trying to push forward. And then, just being aware of that, like nothing happens because of one person. It's very much a group effort. And I think you need to just keep reminding yourself of that and other people of that. But then also with that in mind, I can now look for paths for people to grow as well. So as we're growing the event, we're also trying to grow the people that are behind it as well.
What are some ways that you develop the different talent who work with your brand?
A lot of the artists that we work with, well, I guess a lot of the musicians most so. So we have a lot of young musicians come through who have played the first time they've ever played on stage, has been at one of our events. And then they keep coming back. They're growing in confidence. And then we give them a house band slot where they've gone and practiced with the house band. And now we have these people in positions where they're leading our house band. So I think just being able to back them a bit has grown their confidence. And then over time, they've also come and made friends and they're more confident on stage because people are like supporting them. That's been really rewarding, and a lot of young musicians are now in positions where there are like core go-to players, which is sick.
So obviously when different artists are performing, what do you think makes a really good live performance for an artist?
I think a stage presence is definitely a big thing, and just being confident. I know that's quite a blanket thing to say, but the energy you give out, you'll get back. So yeah, the best performances and the best artists we use are the ones that understand that and are just go and be themselves, be who they want to be, and people will recognize that quickly. And it's rare that you're ever going to get booed, although that's, I'm sure, fear. I'm not there singing, so I can't really say that. But yeah, just give your energy that you know you can give, and it's going to come back.
So obviously with the Neighbourhood brand,
Yeah.
How did you sort of develop? How was the branding sort of developed for that?
So it's always just been a very like community first brand is what Neighbourhood's always been, even down to the name. I think what biggest changes we've made when we've lent into it is taking out the element of calling the people that are in the crowd neighbours. It's just kind of made sense. But yeah, I think the brand just develops on its own because of the community behind it. It's very open, very much a family feeling kind of thing. And then we've taken that with our third space events and just pulled out, just like come and join a neighbourhood of people where you're going to meet the same styles of people, the same people with different interests. I think it just gives that bit of like warm feeling, I guess. Yeah.
So imagine you're a creative and you want to start your own events brand. What advice would you have for them?
Just start it. I know that's annoying to say, but think about the different elements that go into it, who's involved, and then go ask your friends to start doing it with you. So firstly, if you're attending a lot of events, you're going to be able to recognise, oh, I know that person's interested in photography, that person's an artist. So if you were to attend 5 events in 2 months, you're going to meet people there that's the foundations. You could pull that and go and start an event with. Again, it leans back into like, it's not one person ever doing anything. And actually, especially at our level with a lot of young creatives, people are just keen to get involved with a project to get experience. So if you can go and organise that into a group chat, then you're on your way.
So one of the events that I went to was Clavis 7 and Friends.
Yep.
What would you say that event was like?
Yeah, really sick. Again, that's something we've been looking at doing with Clavis, was quite a more established artist that has a vision with what they want to do based around a project, but then also their own people were brought into that. So that was a really cool collaboration, which we're trying to do more of, where we're recognising people that are moving and they have a bit of support around them. And then we can just partner, and it kind of merged 2 audiences, it merged 2 sets of people, and then yeah, it just makes for better events, better energy.
So you sort of allow the collaborator to have a lot more creative control.
Yeah, so with that, Clavis was really cool to work with because he had a vision for what he wanted to do, and we can kind of facilitate all of that. Yeah, that's really different for us. Normally I'll come and suggest stuff for him, but he was like, yeah, I want to do this, I want to do that. It's like, you can go do that. Let us know what you need from it. And then it becomes a collaboration between the artists more so than a traditional promoter that books an artist, and they never really communicate. What we're actually doing is working together to produce an experience for people, which is cool.
Okay. So what do you feel is like one thing that's currently missing from the creative scene in Birmingham?
I guess specifically in the music scene is a lot of like traditional industry structures. So if you could to go and like study what the music industry is meant to look like, we don't really have a lot of that in Birmingham. So we don't really have labels or management groups or even like enough venues. So we're kind of adapting to not having an industry, but we have a scene, which I think is actually the way forward. So what I think is missing is just people coming together and working towards the same goals, and not feeling like they have to compete, but actually collaborate more.
So yeah, I've noticed that. I think Birmingham, it struggles with having an infrastructure.
Yeah.
I think definitely having a strong infrastructure would definitely build a lot more security in Birmingham. But I do definitely think that there's a power in just independence, because it builds the community in a lot more organic way. And there's going to be less gatekeeping and things like that.
Exactly, yeah. Because in an ideal world, we could have everything London has, but I wouldn't want that, because it just takes all that human barrier away from it. It feels very transactional. Whereas I think we have an opportunity to build collaboratively, and then that infrastructure will start to happen. If we, as a scene, say, let's back this person over here who's trying to start doing music videos, this person who's trying to start doing events, this person that's trying to help release, and then you have the foundations for what that industry is meant to look like. But it's all built on everyone supporting each other, because everyone needs each other for that to happen. So that's where I think Birmingham's going. I'd like to see it.
What do you think makes the Birmingham scene so special?
The people. So what makes Birmingham scene special is like everyone does know each other. Although we're a big city, the scene is still very like in touch with each other. Like the genres aren't really split up. It's not like you go to R&B events only. Everyone that is in the scene fully, and I think that's really unique and cool. And can be utilised for good as well. It means that a lot of people are starting to collaborate across the board. Just go be friends with people. That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I was really looking forward to this collaboration. I feel like the platform, the events run.
Exactly. And that's exactly what we're just saying. Is like everyone's got an idea of what they want to go and start up, and the more you talk to people and find that out, all these dots can start being connected, and it just helps everyone else. So props to you for doing what you're doing as well.
Appreciate it. Same for you as well. I'm doing a lot for the community.
For sure.
But one last question. So what future projects are in the works, and what can we expect from Neighbourhood?
So at Neighbourhood next year, live music side of things, we're doubling the events we're producing, which we're excited to do because we can double all the slots we're able to give out. In theory, double the amount of people can come and use the platform. And we're attacking the Friday nights, so we're moving into weekends as well. So finally some more live music's coming into Digbeth. We've just launched Neighbourhood Club, which is our third space event. Tagline for that is just because it's fun. We've only done 2 events yet, but we've got a lot of ideas for adults playgrounds, just like put a bouncy castle up, put a load of games up, and just let people come and have fun. So that's another project we're launching as well.
Obviously you started Neighbours Club, so tell just the audience a little bit about Neighbours Club.
Yeah, so Neighbours Club is a third space event. It started off as a networking event, but we wanted to strip the pressure of the networking from it. So we're just trying to come up with ideas, concepts which hold space for people to come and meet. So we've done 2 core events where we've had loads of like games out, we've had market traders, we've had DJs, a bit of sports. And actually a lot of people have responded really well to that, where it's like they don't want to have to go to a club to meet someone. They can come to a relaxed environment where actually like the inner child comes out of it, and through that they've then networked. And I think that's been cool. So we're going to develop that further, produce stuff like sports days. So that's kind of taking the community element of our music nights, but removing the music from it, and seeing what we can come up with that.
Perfect. Yeah. So if you'd like to just give the audience your socials.
My socials it's Ryan Ridley, and then our brand socials are Neighbourhood Prom.
Perfect. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you for coming. I'm here with Ryan from Neighbourhood, and I'm here with Lalia Cole. So a few months ago, they did an event called Clavis 7 and Friends. So Ryan, how did you get in touch with Lalia, and what was the idea behind creating that event?
The way that event happened was through Clavis. So I found through the grapevine that he was looking to put an event on. And I think within 8 minutes, we had gotten a phone call and basically mapped out the whole thing. So I was like, yeah, this guy's on it. This guy's on it. So he had the whole concept. We wanted to do a takeover. He wanted to bring all his friends. Cue one of the friends, Lalia, came along, killed the set. It was a very sick event.
So what was your experience like performing at Neighbourhood at that event?
You know what? I think the first time I went to Neighbourhood, I think I was like 20, 21, and I'd always like gone there and thought, oh, like I could just never be on this stage. Like it just seems so overwhelming. But like I did notice that every time I'd gone to the event, like the audience was so like full of energy. And so that's kind of what I was like hoping for, but I literally got that. Like everyone, like I think that's like one of the best crowds I've performed in front of, to be honest. Everyone was so friendly, everyone was so receptive, everyone was so encouraging, very involved. And I know that I think there was a lot of people there that like hadn't heard my stuff before, and they still made me feel like I was literally like that stage was my home. It was just so nice, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. And yeah, it was so lovely. It was lovely. Yeah.
Okay. Watching Lalia perform, what were your thoughts watching Lalia perform, and what do you feel like the impact was of the event?
I think that event was very cool because it's one of the opportunities we get to bring in a little ecosystem. So on that event, you had artists that have been in their circles for a very long time, and you could tell that with like the energy between them and how they all work together, even to the point where we had producers involved on the DJ set. So it was a nice crafted event. And then watching Lalia perform, the only thoughts were, when's the next one? Let's get her some more shows. We've been listening to Lalia on our earphones for so long, so it's really cool to see her touch the stage.
So you performed the song Leave Me Alone. What was it like performing that song?
To perform Leave Me Alone at Neighbourhood, that was actually my first time, because that was like so soon after. I think that was like less than a week after I'd actually released it, and it was the first time I'd ever performed it live. So every time I perform a song live for the first time, I always get really nervous because I'm like, I don't know how this is gonna go. I haven't sung this really since I recorded it into the mic, so I just don't even know if I can do it, but it was a good, especially because of the band that was like doing it with me, and they'd like arranged it so well. I have nothing but good things to say about that song live, and I kind of can't wait to perform the song again, to be honest, especially if it's with a live band, because I just feel like it did change the feeling of the song, but I feel like I connected with it more. So yeah, I loved it.
So you can find Ryan on socials at It's Ryan Ridley and Neighbourhood Brum, and you can find Lalia on socials, it's Lalia Cole.